Hey everyone, I'm James here with Hannah, Alyssa, and Beverly, and we form the team Tasman Consulting Group. The outbreak of coronavirus has had severe consequences on the small food and restaurant business industry in 2020. Aligned with the views of Peter Drucker, innovation is a critical reflection of a firm's ability to exploit the implications of environmental change in order to continue to thrive. This global pandemic has reiterated the competitive advantage associated with having a strong digital presence, and the case question at hand leads right into this. So, what can we do to help small businesses deal with this new COVID-infected world? We have to come up with an idea that will keep restaurants and other food businesses alive and solve the key issues of unpredictability, stricter limitations in the hospitality sector, and businesses having ineffective online presences. We found that the perfect solution to this is quite simply an app to solve the classic "where should we eat" problem. This solution will not only support the small food businesses, but will also save everyone's time. And who doesn't want that? Now I'll pass it over to Hannah for the key issues.
Thanks, James. So the first key issue we identified was unpredictability. Due to times of COVID, no one knows when the next lockdown is going to happen or what the implications of the next alert level are going to be. This will impact small businesses because if they can't predict what is going on, how can they survive? The second key issue we've noticed is the much stricter restrictions on the hospitality sector. For restaurants, this is as simple as not as many people allowed in the lobby. This means that businesses will get less foot traffic than before, especially around busy times such as lunch and dinner rush. This imbalance between having times of empty lobbies and the times of not being able to fit everyone in may just be the reasons some businesses have to close. Now I'll pass it to Beverly.
Thanks, Hannah. The last key issue facing businesses is an ineffective online presence. Whether this be through growing a stronger social media or more advertising, communication to customers is more important than ever. Businesses that didn't have an online presence pre-pandemic are now at a major disadvantage. We've come up with an app called Good Eats that recommends to its users nearby dining options based on factors such as their current location, previously enjoyed places, similar users, and so on. The primary goal is for businesses to advertise themselves to the people who are most likely to eat at their establishment, even if those people have never heard of them before. This means that they don't have to pour so much effort and money into advertising on platforms that are only effective for the few that are actually interested. Now I'll pass on to Alyssa to talk about the logistics of our solution.
Thanks, Beverly. During setup, businesses will be asked to help categorize their establishment, the type of cuisine, the average price per person, and the ambience. Is it casual dining or more for a couple's date night? And finally, of course, location. They can also specify unique offers, such as set lunch deals. Whilst strict health and safety measures remain in place, the app will also collect real-time data about an establishment's dining availability. It will only notify customers of restaurants where social distancing can be maintained between tables. Restaurants can choose to contribute to real-time updates by launching special offers at strategic times, say a $5 value meal at 12 p.m. Taking this a step further, companies can allow Good Eats to make smarter decisions for them. Over time, it'll recognize a user's preferences and learn to customize enticing offers. Maybe last week you ordered a peri-peri chicken burger. Well, does Good Eats have just the deal for you? 10% off your next burger, upgrade to a combo for just $1 with some peri-peri dipping sauce on the side of those fries, no extra charge. This will optimize promotional advertising processes for small businesses who struggle to gain market traction on their own. People who happen to be in the neighborhood will perceive these special prices as a stroke of good luck. Really, it's the unbeatable mix of machine learning and rumbling stomachs. End users of our app will also be prompted to enter data. The preferences of individual consumers, including cuisine, price, and previous satisfying experiences, will be collected by the app and put towards machine learning. Combined with the location of the app user, Good Eats will attempt to connect hungry people with an appropriate eating establishment. I guess you could call it a match made in heaven.
Thanks for that, Alyssa. On the technical side, we've decided to host the app with AWS using their machine learning service. We're also going to be using the Google Maps API to display location data on restaurants and cafes. So the machine learning will generate customized recommendations based on the past enjoyed experiences of all app users and the user's own preferences and location. We'll also be using React as our front end to deliver the best possible user experience.
So, what's the outlook? Well, the first 6 months would be a trial of sorts within the Central Auckland region. This early feedback will allow for final iteration before introducing the app across all of Auckland by 2021. At this point, we'll be expecting about 25% of the small restaurant industry to be on board. Within 2 years of the initial launch, we would aim to reach 15,000 active users in our major cities. This figure is based on the popularity of the American Postmates, scaled down to a New Zealand equivalent. Our goal is for Good Eats to be integrated into the lives of all Kiwis by 2023. Should we have established a strong standing in our own market by this time, we would consider international expansion going forwards. We used Waze, a popular smart navigation system which uses real-time data, as our baseline when estimating the software development costs. 770 hours of labor at $40 per hour comes to about 46,000 New Zealand dollars, rounded up to an even 50. This covers GPS navigation, live directions, data analysis, and social networking elements. Outsourcing is likely to provide the best trade-off between skill and cost. This makes up $10,000 of our base cost. Finally, we've allocated 20% of the startup towards both software maintenance and advertising expenses. Okay, a lot of numbers. James, now it's your turn.
Okay, thanks, Alyssa. It's now time to talk financials. After some extensive research, we found that the hospitality sector in New Zealand makes about 11.3 billion New Zealand dollars in revenue a year. Our calculations were made off the assumption that small businesses will make up about 1% of this total revenue, and that we will be able to charge business owners about 1% of their total revenue in return for using our product. This means we can potentially be making $1.1 million a year of small businesses alone. In year 2, we expect 50% of this figure, which gives about 550,000, and in year 1, we expect 25% of this figure, which gives 275,000. Also, our app will have in-app purchases at a constant $5 that will unlock you special deals from specific restaurants. We expect to have around 15,000 users by the end of year 2. Assuming 1% of them use in-app purchases, which is quite feasible, we'll be expecting to make about $750 a year through this model. Through these assumptions, we came up with profit numbers of 206,000 in year 1 and 530,000 in year 2. The full calculations for this data can be found in the appendix. I'll now pass it back to Beverly for the risks and solutions.
Awesome, thanks James. So there are naturally a couple of risks that come with the development of this app, one of which is not actually having enough people to sign up. For this, we're intending to start within a smaller region to build up reputation before moving into larger regions. This is so that we can make necessary changes before expanding too much. There are also some ethics and privacy concerns, but this can be easily solved by users agreeing to terms and conditions. They can also set their own preferences, like enabling and disabling location services. Now I'll pass on to Alyssa to speak about some potential societal benefits.
Right, so a few of the benefits. Well, from a consumer's point of view, Good Eats has a distinct position within the restaurant advertising industry. Alerting users with pop-up notifications as they drive from A to B conveniently solves the debate of where to grab a bite to eat. Machine learning and cloud computing provides a unique point of difference in customizing recommendations according to the individual's past behavior. Our ultimate vision is to support small food businesses adapt to current market trends. Having one platform for all businesses gives them an equal chance to promote their value propositions, effectively expanding its existing customer segments and reaching new ones. Finally, by connecting users with a diverse range of local cafes and restaurants, Good Eats encourages social networking and generation of goodwill. James, I'll let you tie it all together.
Sweet. So to sum it all up, we were given a question of how to help small businesses adapt digitally to this new COVID-infected world. We came up with a solution that solves the classic where to eat problem. And as a result of this solution, many small businesses will not have to close down, the New Zealand economy will be saved, and people will no longer have to wonder, what are they going to eat for lunch today? That concludes our presentation. Thanks for listening.